A good evening and warm welcome to tonight's Stoke City Women's Q&A. I'll be your host, Jonty Sargent, as part of International Women's Day 2021. It is an absolute pleasure tonight to be joined by a whole host of Stoke City Women first team stars, as well as a number of their coaching staff. So without further ado, I'll first introduce you to Technical Director Chloe Jones.
Hi everyone, Chloe Jones, Technical Director, previously head coach, and in a previous lifetime played football as well for a number of clubs. That just makes me feel a little bit young, but yeah, that's me.
All right, Chloe, thank you very much. We have current first team manager Alina Moulton.
Currently the women's head coach.
Perfect. Alina, thank you very much for joining us. We have skipper Meg Bowyer.
Hi everyone, my name's Meg and I'm captain of Stoke City Women's first team. I'm centre back and I've been at the club for around 17, 18 years or so.
Good old shift that is,
Long
Meg.
time.
Good old shift. Next we have Shannon Garner.
Hi, I'm Shannon Garner. I played centre midfield for the first team. I've been at the club for 14 years, progressing from the centre now to the first team.
Fantastic. We also have Ali Hall.
Hiya, I'm Ali. I'm the vice captain of the women's team. I've been at Stoke 2 seasons now and play midfield.
We have the loud one of the group, Nick Hudson.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick. I've been in the club for about 17 years now. I know I don't look that old, but I play right back for the first team. And
Nick will be answering every single question tonight because she put herself forward and is absolutely delighted to do so. So thank you very much. Next we have new recruit, Callan Barber.
Hi, I'm Callan. So I am a midfielder and I joined the club about 2 months ago. So haven't yet trained or played, but yeah, looking forward to doing so soon, hopefully.
And everyone's looking forward to seeing you in the red and white of Stoke City. We also have Beth Roberts.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm first team left back and I've been at the club since I was 14.
Beautiful. We also have Ella Pemberton, who, Ella, you as well have spent quite some time at Stoke City.
Yeah, I've been at the club now for 10 years. I play centre mid and I've come up from the RTC.
Okay, Abby Hunt.
Hi everyone, I'm Abby and this is my second stint at Stoke. So I first played for a couple of years and then I went abroad and fortunately had the opportunity to come back and play. And I'm a midfielder / forward sometimes.
When you feel like it. And finally, last but not least, we have Lucy Ridgway, Mrs. Stoke City, arguably been through every single level of the club.
Thanks, Jonty. Yes, I'm girls and women's officer for the club and one of the first team coaches. I've played competitively for 16 years for Stoke and fortunately don't play now, but I'm taking on coaching. Obviously don't play as much, so looking forward to working more with the first team.
All right, perfect. Well, that's all of our introductions out of the way. Alina, if your internet is going to hold out, fortunately, the very first question comes to you. It's obviously been a difficult season for absolutely everybody in a whole host of ways, but where are we up to? Is there any news on what's going to happen next?
It's a bit of a hard one, really. I think we're still waiting to see what happens. It's been a bit difficult, really, because it's been stop-start for the past 12 months, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone. We're just really itching to get back onto the grass, continue on doing some really good work and building on the way we want to play, interacting with the fans, and ultimately get back to kind of winning football matches whenever we can.
From a coach's perspective, how disruptive and frustrating has it been?
It's been really difficult because there's only so many things that you can do off the pitch with the players. Really, the girls, the footballers, they want to play football, and when you can't do it, it disrupts your week. You know, the Tuesday and Thursday evenings you spend with your mates, you know, playing football, training, and on a Sunday as well. And that's taken away. It's kind of a little bit disheartening for everyone. So yeah, we just want to get back, really.
100%. Chloe, where does that leave us now in terms of going forward? What happens next? Is there a restart? Are we not restarting? Do we have any real idea, any indication whatsoever?
Well, within the men's game, from tiers 3 to 6, they're null and void. But the FA Women's National League, they're still deciding. So obviously the FA and the government guidelines have confirmed that football can return back to training on 29th of March. So that's what we're planning for. So at the moment, we're planning to return to training on 29th of March. But then we've been told that mid-March, so hopefully within the next week or so, we'll have it confirmed whether we are restarting the season or, when the season is going to be extended and what happens next. I know last week, obviously the FA Cup, it was confirmed that that's returning, which is really, really great news. And that's returning literally the first week in April. So it's a quick turnaround. So the players are working really hard, doing the training program to make sure that, to be honest, we're prepared for anything. I think what we've learned this year is anything can happen this year. So we just have to make sure that we're as prepared as possible to play football, as soon as we can, really.
I was going to say, I know many players who are taking part in training programs, and there's only so much you can do at home, and there's a massive difference that you can get from running on road and running around your garden at times than there is actually being match ready and match fit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think so we're preparing players to come back with that kind of base foundation of fitness, and that allows us then to put our sole focus, when we go back to training, into football fitness, shall we say, and the tactics and back on the ball and actually, playing as part of a team. So I think by coming to the training, almost half fit, then that really gives us a real good base layer to really build on.
Right, you can dig anybody out at this moment, because I know that there's people who will do the training programs and they will give 100% away from their management or away from their technical staff. Is there anybody who has not been ticking the boxes, who has not gone above and beyond, who you might think should have been doing a bit more?
I won't dig it on out, really, but I think that it's been difficult for everyone, hasn't it? And I think that players will do. I know that I have full trust, and we have full trust in the players that they will return with a decent level of fitness. I think I don't think we'll have any players that are unfit, because we've been doing loads. It hasn't just been the training program. We've been doing kind of different charity activities, raising funds for the North South hospitals. We did a challenge for Ashton a few weeks ago. So we've tried to mix it up. Like I said, you can only do so much. And actually, because we didn't really have the confirmation of what we were preparing for, it was only kind of last week or the week before that it got confirmed that we could get back to training on the 29th of March. So until then, it was about maintaining. So I won't dig on out, because the girls have actually, or the players have only completed 1 week of their training program. And it's been great. We have the data, we analyze the data, but also working with the players. And on a Thursday, we do kind of a joint hit session, which is brilliant, because what we didn't want to do is really overload the players with tactical Zooms and quizzes and stuff. So I think that's the closest we've got to training together. So, and everyone's attended that, which is brilliant, and stuff. So I won't dig it on out. I think everyone will come back, and hopefully the ones that aren't quite doing it, this will be their motivation, because next time I will dig them out.
All right, well, very good. Politically correct answer. You got away with that one. In terms of fitness, in terms of injuries, I know before the break we had a couple of knocks. Beth, in particular, you had quite a serious injury. How's rehab going? Are you ready for when the season does return?
Yeah, so it's obviously really bad having loads of games cancelled and what's happened, but it's actually been really lucky for me, because I haven't missed any games, and then the collarbone is all healed now. I've got the all clear from the doctors to go back to contact and playing again. So I've been doing a lot of fitness, and I'm lifting the same weights I was now, upper body, prior to the injury. So yeah, I just need to get my sharpness back on the ball, but I think I'm definitely getting there and can't wait to be back.
Which is brilliant news, and I think when you look around the virtual room, there's a lot of nods, there's a lot of big smiles on people's faces. How does that feel to have that team around you? Is it giving you that encouragement to get match ready once more?
Yeah, I've had so much support from everyone, all the coaches, the players. I think like a week after I did it, I had a massive hamper off everyone. I've got a little match day mug with a Stoke shirt and Delilah on, which I haven't used yet because I'm saving that for game day. So yeah, but everyone's been really supportive, and it just makes me want to get back on the pitch more.
All right, well, I'm sure I speak for everyone in saying that we look forward to seeing you back on the pitch. In particular, we must speak about our new recruit. Callan, we had a brief chat as soon as you put pen to paper and it was announced that you were joining Stoke City Women's team. What's the period been like, and how have you, I know you've not had the best opportunity to settle in, but how have you found it so far at Stoke City?
Yeah, it's been a nice welcome from everyone. It's obviously been a bit strange because usually if you sign for a new club, you'd probably, start training and playing straight away. So that's been frustrating in a way, I guess, not to be able to meet everyone straight away and to have to wait for quite a long time to do that. But hopefully that's not going to be too much longer now. And I think in the meantime, the staff have done a great job of putting on different events and activities and stuff to keep us ticking over. So it's nice to kind of see everyone's faces on there and kind of get an idea of what everyone's about and what the club's about, ready to hopefully go straight into it when we start up again.
I know you did mention that you knew a couple of players here. Was it Ali in particular who you were quite close to?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Is there, right, you say unfortunately, is there any secrets that now we're all together, you're in an open space now, you're in a safe space, is there anything you'd want to out Ali for? Is there any secrets you have whatsoever?
She can't go anywhere like on her own. So, if we were out anywhere and she needs the toilet or she needs to go to the bar or she has to say, come with me, because she can't go on her own for some reason.
I'm going to murder you.
Ali, anything you want to say about Callum?
I couldn't possibly disclose such sort of dreadful information, unfortunately, but I can say it's all complete lies. It's a bit sad she's joined, really, but we'll have to deal with her.
Do you actually go to the toilet with her, and do you go with her when she asks you for these things?
Don't go into the toilet with her, but we'll go. No, she's a big girl now. She's grown up. She can do those sort of things herself.
I'm pleased. I'm delighted she can. Lucy Ridgway, we spoke briefly again about when we introduced you tonight. You've played many roles at Stoke City. What has given you the outlook to be able to go and achieve the certain things that you've wanted to set out?
I think with Stoke, it's always had that real good family feel, and there's always been that support. And whether that's players, and I've got a lot of good friends at Stoke, or whether it's staff that have supported us, they've just really pushed on to that next step. So when I did kind of think more about coaching and doing my way for B, I got more involved with the reserves and helping out with them. And then spoke to Kath and a few others. He said, right, come on your side and work with the development team. Really enjoyed that. And then kind of towards the end of the year, when some staff went on to new kind of pastures, I kind of took the role of development team manager. At the time, we did have a few injuries and things, so I did have to play a couple of times for the development, which was good fun. I had to play in goal at one point last season, which I kept a clean sheet, so I was quite pleased with that. So yeah, it was an interesting couple of years with the development team, and I love that. And then obviously Chloe and Alina spoke to me this summer, and I was quite surprised when they asked me to work with the first team, because to me it was always a dream that I didn't know if I'd get there now or when, or kind of when it happened, but I did always envisage working for the RTC, which obviously I do now, and then working for Stoke Women kind of when I did stop playing competitively. So yeah, kind of got there, and like I say, I'm looking forward to working more with the first team now. So yeah.
All right, fantastic. Alina, just finally before we do start to rattle through a few of our fans' questions, you seem like you're building quite a community atmosphere, quite a little family in a way. Is that something you're hopefully going to transcribe into results onto the pitch?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the main things with Stoke as a club, as Lucy's alluded to, it's a family club. It really is, and a family feel. And we kind of, Chloe started it last season, and we started it together, just kind of building on it all the time. And we always, part of recruitment, part of a team, we always say people first before we look at the actual footballers. They've got to fit into our environment. They've got to have some really good values within our environment so that we can really kick on, because when it gets tough, you need good people around you to support each other. And for us, that's probably the most important thing for our recruitment and just in general.
Well, we all know we're here to celebrate International Women's Day tonight. Before we do go to those questions from fans, Nick Hudson, we know how keen you were to answer a lot of questions tonight. What does International Women's Day mean to you?
I think for me, it's about celebrating women really, and us guys empowering each other to be the best that we possibly can. I think there's a bit of acknowledgement around sort of gender equality and how far we've come as women. And I think for me personally, I've got a very diverse group of friends. I play in a football team where there's a very diverse group of women that play, and we're all very, very different, but it's about embracing those differences, learning from each other, and accepting everyone for who they are. So that's what it means to me, really.
Brilliant, fantastic answer. Alina, one more for you before I let you have a bit of a rest. You recently did a piece for the club around International Women's Day, which we saw earlier on this afternoon. How important is it not only for the women's team to be seen visually on social media, but vocally as well?
I think it's absolutely crucial, really, because we've played the game for many years and we've been involved, and it's so important to inspire the next generation and the next load of girls that are coming through and seeing that visibility. If they can't see it, they can't be it, and there is some truth to that. So it's so important that we keep championing each other as women. We stick together, we look after each other, we look after the little ones, we bring them through. And like I've mentioned before as well, the way that the club Stoke is, that is so important for us. And we're quite fortunate that we've got a really good balance between male and female coaching staff as well, which not all clubs do have. But again, that's important that we support each other.
All right, well, time for our fans' questions, which a lot of the time is always could be what you have for breakfast and quite frankly all sorts, which we've had in the past, but we have gone through these questions, so it's all safe, don't worry. This is for Abby. Isabel says, do you think there will ever be a time in the future that women will be seen as equal to men in the sport?
I mean, hopefully, yeah. I think it'll take a while. I mean, when I started playing football, there was no equality. I mean, for most of us who are on the team now, we mostly played for boys' teams growing up. I know for me in primary school, I was the only girl that played, so it was a bit of a shock. And then obviously when I went to academy, it was like a whole new world. And I went to Everton, so it was just like a completely different experience. And I think over the last 10 years, it's just grown like I never imagined, and never thought that we'd be getting on TV. I never thought that women would be becoming professionals. And I just think like in the next 10 years, it could, I don't know if equal, but it'll be close. It'll be a close call.
Well, fingers crossed if people still, as the hashtag and the phrase is today, choose to challenge that diversity and equality does continue to grow. Next, a question for Ali. Sarah Davidson said, what made you want to play football when given the choice out of all the sports that you could have played?
I think me, probably like quite a lot of others, influenced by my parents. My dad especially played football for a long time. My Saturdays when I was really little was spent going to watch his games. And my family have always been, completely split Fulham and Arsenal fans. So again, weekends were spent watching football, and a lot of time in the garden playing with my dad. So I suppose probably he's the one that made me want to try out for a team first, and then it kind of went from there and carried on really.
So I imagine they're immensely proud of what you've been able to achieve.
I mean, they live in Surrey, but they travelled the country. I think they've been pretty far up north to watch me play each weekend. Bless them, it's like a routine. So even they've struggled throughout the past year or so, not having that Sunday routine. But it's nice to have them there.
How does that make you feel, having that tight-knit support around you?
Really, really proud, and it's a comfort. I think seeing members of your family on the side of the pitch when you're playing always always makes you feel more comfortable on the pitch and more confident that you've got that support around you.
All right, this one for Callan. What have you learned most about yourself during lockdown?
I think the thing that I have got, well, I say learned about myself, I think the thing I've got better at is, because I've had a bit more time and not being able to do as much with it, is just to learn to like not do as much and just kind of relax a bit more, because I tend to just be a bit here, there and everywhere and not really sort of giving myself any time to kind of chill out really. And because that was kind of enforced on me a little bit, I kind of had to get a bit better at that. So I think that's what I've learned over the last sort of year or so, is just to take a step back and just take things a bit easier really.
Last time we spoke, are you still not on social media?
No.
So you're still not broke. So I know a lot of people during lockdowns in particular who, when they have that time, will just sit and scroll and scroll and scroll, not being that way inclined. What do you do with your spare time if you've been out? You're getting quite active.
Yeah, I mean, loads of walks and stuff. Because that's the only way I guess you can really see people, friends or family at the minute. So loads of walks. Like cooking, quite like cooking. So just different stuff like that. Just really boring, normal stuff, really.
Lucy, what about you? How have you stayed fit during lockdown?
I think the challenges of Stoke Women have helped, obviously with the runs and things. I haven't done a 5K for a while, so I think doing them again was good. And a bit like Callan said, with the cooking and baking, I've tried to learn new things and done a bit of baking with my time. But I've been doing some dance classes as well on YouTube. So when I was younger, I used to go to dance classes at the gym and stuff, like Zumba and clubber size, but I haven't been able to do that, obviously, with being so busy. So yeah, been putting different classes on YouTube and enjoying dancing around my living room. That's probably been my favourite way. I
did notice that Nick unmuted herself, because I'm pretty sure you were gonna say something then.
What was that? Someone unmuted. Go on, Nick.
Wondering, Lucy, whether a minute for everyone to take it.
Definitely not.
Can you do a spin on the chair at least?
Oh my god, no spins. I can try and think of something else, but I'll probably knock over my laptop or something if I try a little spin. I don't know what to do.
Well, what have you been baking?
Baking some flapjacks and some cupcakes, cookies, all sorts of different things. Nick, you're a little don't know what to call you, but you're a little minx.
Well, I'm thinking, Chloe, I was telling you about my severe lack of fitness regime on Saturday. Last Monday, I'd done around 2K. I keep telling everyone it was above 2K, but it wasn't.
You told me it was below 2K, yeah.
It was 1.8 kilometers, right? I ran, and I stopped 3 times, and on Saturday, my carbs were still burning. So I'm pretty sure I need to take some fitness advice off everybody, which would be welcome. Chloe, can you have me in? In fact, no, that's a big mistake, actually. I don't want to join you for pre-season. No chance.
I'll add you in the hit on Thursday. I'll hold you to that one.
Right, that was a big mistake, wasn't it? Right, more fans' questions. Do you feel, this one's for Meg, by the way, El Capitano. Do you feel like the coronavirus has affected mental health, and how have you kept yourself mentally well?
I would say it has affected mental health, because people have stopped living the normal lives and doing what they enjoy, like seeing family, or like we do, playing a sports team. So I definitely think that's affected people's mental health. But for me, I've tried to get out more, because working in an office 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, it does get to you. So I've tried to get out and walk more. I try to go on quite a few runs and stay active, because for me, the best thing for my mental health is just to stay doing exercise and keeping involved with all of the girls and staying in touch with family when I can. So that's the best thing for me. But yeah, so I do think lockdown has affected mental health, but I think it's also helped people find different ways to cope because they've had to.
I was going to say, having that team around you, having your teammates. I know people who aren't in this kind of environment have struggled personally. If you didn't have the girls around you, have your team around you, do you think it would have affected you quite a lot more?
Oh, definitely. I think people need the friends around them, need the family around them, and obviously us having the environment that we've got, and Stoke having the family feel, it did take the weight off. It did help that much more. So having the girls there, both obviously through all of the lockdowns that we've been through, has definitely helped me.
All right, we've not heard much from Shannon tonight, so this one comes your way. Outside of football, during lockdown, have you learned a new skill? Is this something that you've tried to develop during the last year or so?
This lockdown, I haven't really been up to much because I'm suffering with an injury at the moment. So I had a problem with my knee last game. I still don't know what's up, whether to be in regular contact with the physio. So I've literally just been walking, getting on with work, because I'm a carer and a cleaner. So that's kept me busy, and just spent more time with my mum and dad. It's brought me and my family a lot closer.
How frustrating is it from having an injury and having to, I know obviously we've not been watching games because there's been no games on, but when you're sat on the sidelines watching your teammates play, I know a lot of players who really don't deal with it very well.
No, well, I've suffered the last, I'd say, year now with just little niggles, but I get in the squad, play 4 or 5 games in a row, and then something else hits me again. So it's like constantly battling through another injury, but it's so hard mentally. But you just have to think about the outcome and keep going.
I was going to say, does that help build character for you, do you think?
Yeah, well, I struggle with shin splints, so I had to play through that for around 4 months. So I just kept going and couldn't really do nothing about it. But it does it mentally test you.
All right, next question from Kerry is for Ella. If you weren't a footballer, what sport would you have taken up?
What sport? Well, I actually played netball quite a lot, and I see netball as like similarly to football in the sense of the position I used to play. I used to play for a team as well as I did when I played for Stoke. So on the training nights, I'd have football, then the next night I'd have netball, and then football again. So probably would have pursued netball, I guess.
What position are you in netball?
Centre. So it's quite similar, and you just everywhere. So there's no rules or anything or restrictions. So it's quite straightforward.
All action, getting up and down. Last couple of questions. This is for Nick. What's the favourite ground that you've played at?
I think for me it would probably be the Bet 365. Yeah, so it's just a lovely ground. It's always nice when we get the opportunity to play there.
I was going to say, what goes through you emotion-wise when you step out of the Bet 365, a stadium like that? How does that make you feel?
I think proud more than anything. So we get a couple of opportunities each season, and it's just nice to wear that shirt and go out on that pitch. And for me personally, I feel proud.
Well, fingers crossed we get to see you. We get to see you back out there at some point soon. Last 2 questions. This one for Chloe. What's the one thing that you would say to any young person, male or female, who has a dream of becoming a footballer?
I think it's about any dream, really, isn't it? I just think anything's achievable, and today being International Women's Day, I think it gives people a platform, but also women can be role models, not just for young girls. It's for boys at any age, and I think it's just you find that dream, and it's up to you to put yourself in the best position to be able to achieve that. But like Abby was saying earlier, her dream was to play football, at the highest level, and actually her dream was there when it wasn't even possible. So I think in 10 years, 10, 15 years, a lot of things can change. So it's just, keep pushing the boundaries and keep trying to reach those dreams and do everything that you can to be the best person that you can to be able to achieve those. And and I think it's actually look up to role models, see what they do, see how they've achieved it and things, and work your way up to it, but just never give up on your dreams. I think that's the main thing.
All right. Finally, Alina, we come to you. What about advice for a parent of a child that wants to be a footballer? We know, I know in particular, there's been a few parents that we've seen down the years who try and live dreams perhaps through their kids. What would you say to them?
I think the most important thing is just to support your son or daughter at every single moment. It can be difficult. The travel can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes. There'll be times where they'll be a bit upset, but just support them throughout the whole process. And when things are going tough or not going the way that they want them to, then help with that reflection process, but just don't be too pushy. Because the one thing that a lot of people have in common is their love for the sport. And as soon as that goes away, they no longer want to participate. So never let them lose the love of the game.
All right. And I always enjoy nights like this because I feel like you start to actually get to know the people behind the shirt at times. We've learned a lot about what challenges you guys as players. Alina, as manager of this team, how does it make you feel hearing your squad speak about the things that they have done tonight? Because I know we can all put up with Nick's jokes and we can put up with Lucy trying to spin on a chair and stuff, but actually at times you're talking about International Women's Day, empowering each other. How proud, if anything, does that make you feel?
It makes me immensely proud because ultimately all these girls and every single player through to first team to the reserves and development, every single one of them is a role model for all the other girls out there. And just to hear everyone's like the drive, their commitment, and just what they're about has been brilliant. And like I've said at the very beginning, we always say people first, and it's great to know that we've got good people involved with the club. And the girls are brilliant, and everything that we ask for, they always give it. And sometimes they go beyond the stuff that we ask for. And I've been involved in a couple of clubs, but the feel at this club, I'm not just saying it, it's completely different to other clubs.
Well, unfortunately, that brings our Stoke City Women's question and answer to an end, but I think you all deserve, I know most people in this are muted, but I think you all deserve a massive round of applause. So thank you for joining us tonight. And that brings us to an end. For everybody joining us to watch along, thank you again for spending your night with us. And to all players and coaching staff, again, thank you for giving your time this evening.